You ever think the weirdest thing about getting older would be waking up early to feed chickens? I did until a woman in a suit showed up on my doorstep and tried to sue me for living outside her HOA. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Folks say you move out to the country to find peace and quiet, but I guess nobody warned me about Sarah Blackwood. She wasn't your run-of-the-mill Karen either. Nope, she was slick. MBA, a pile of official-looking papers, and the sort of confidence that made every neighbor trust her and side-eye me like I'd built a nuclear silo out back instead of a chicken coop. Now, before I tell you how my flock of chickens turned into the key witnesses in a revenge plot, let me set the stage. My name's Walt Harrison. I'm 52, and after selling my tech company, I thought I was done with corporate games. My wife Elena and I found our little piece of heaven, 4 acres of real country, just us, big oaks, rolling hills, the sort of place you could finally hear yourself think. Elena, bless her, was skeptical about my sudden farmer dreams, but she fell for the place the moment she saw it. Picture perfect, and I figured, hey, let's make it a little paradise. Solar panels, rainwater collection, organic garden. Even had names ready for our chickens, Clementine, Beatrice, and Winston. For 3 months, life was as sweet as peach pie. Then one January morning, in comes a silver BMW gliding up my driveway. Out steps Sarah, looking every inch the boardroom queen, down to the manicured handshake and clipped introduction. Good morning, I'm Sarah Blackwood, president of Timberline Estates, HOA. I'm here regarding your property's new inclusion under the Regional Development Act. You know the kind of person whose smile says, I own this moment. Yeah, that's her. She hands me paperwork, flashes credentials that look way too official, and starts tossing around legal terms like community integration standards and expanded boundaries. I swear for a second I wondered if maybe she wasn't just making it up, except she had the badge, the board minutes, the whole shebang. Elena came out just as Sarah was giving me a folder thick enough to double as a doorstop. My wife has a radar for phonies from years of handling tough clients, and I could see the look, one eyebrow up, lips pursed. Later, she whispered, Something's not right, Walt. Since when do HOAs expand miles away just for chickens? I tried to brush it off. Maybe I was overthinking. But then Sarah kept coming back. First for a property assessment, criticizing everything from the chicken coop to the garden beds, then a vote to include us. Every time the visits felt heavier, more official, until one day she slammed down the final card. Congratulations, the HOA has voted you in. Here's your $3,200 initiation fee, $280 a month, effective immediately. I'll be honest, my stomach dropped. Elena grabbed my arm, and for the first time I saw real fear in her eyes. She's dangerous because she is official. This isn't a scam, Walt. It's worse. So we did what anyone would do. We started digging. The law existed, sure, but not how Sarah claimed. Her precious 3-mile expansion was nowhere in the actual statutes. The limit was half a mile. Meanwhile, Elena, ever the sleuth, found something that made my skin crawl. Sarah Blackwood had only existed for 3 years. Before that, she was Sarah Mitchell, infamous in Portland for a corporate scandal involving, you guessed it, forged documents. That's when it hit me. Sarah Mitchell, my old business partner's ex-wife, the one who swore I'd pay. After our startup crashed and burned, she'd reinvented herself, moved here, and built a whole new empire just to ruin me. The next morning, Sarah showed up with a lawyer in tow, Morrison, real credentials, real firm. Handed me a $50,000 fine for violations, gave us 30 days to comply, and basically threatened everything we'd built. It wasn't just about property anymore. My consulting clients bailed Elena, lost work over legal investigations, and anonymous complaints started rolling in. My retirement dream was collapsing fast. Elena wanted to settle to pay whatever they wanted and end the nightmare, but I couldn't shake the feeling that if we gave in, we'd lose more than just money. We'd lose ourselves. The deeper we dug, the more we uncovered. Sarah had convinced even her own attorney, with fake research passing off made-up court cases, to justify her power grab. She'd spun up neighbors against us, weaponized local officials, and systematically isolated us from every support system we had. I watched Elena wilt under the pressure migraines, hospital visits, days when she could barely get out of bed. The worst fight of our marriage happened. Then she begged me to give up, and for a moment I almost did. But Elena had a flash of genius. At a settlement meeting, she calmly grilled Sarah and her attorney about the law, statute, numbers, case law, real expansion limits. You could see Morrison's confidence crumble as Elena poked holes in their entire story. That was the crack we needed. We spent the next 2 days gathering every scrap of evidence connecting Sarah's old identity to her new one, matching font signatures, even the color palette of her letterheads. The smoking gun fake legal precedents. Sarah had literally invented them, and Morrison never double-checked. Monday morning came and we walked into court knowing we were up against a machine of official-looking lies. The judge, Patricia Valdez, had a reputation for slicing through nonsense. Morrison laid out Sarah's case, legitimate boundary expansion, official documents, a parade of neighbors, all convinced we were destroying their property values. Sarah gave a performance worthy of an Oscar-cool professional, drowning us in paperwork and jargon. I could feel the room turning against us, everyone buying her version when finally it was my turn. "Your Honor, with all due respect, none of this is real," I said. I handed over the actual statute, highlighted clear as day, showing the limit was 1/2 mile, not 2+. I showed business documents linking Sarah Blackwood to Sarah Mitchell, her threat to me years ago, and proof of her manufactured evidence. Morrison's face went gray as he realized he'd been played. Sarah, for her part, snapped. She confessed in front of everyone that she'd spent 3 years building this entire scheme just to ruin my life, screaming about how I'd destroyed her marriage, and she'd make sure I lost everything. The judge wasted no time. Case dismissed. Sarah arrested for fraud. Morrison hauled before the bar for failing to vet his own filings. The room was stunned. Neighbors, shocked and embarrassed, apologized, some in tears. The press had a field day. HOA president jailed for personal vendetta. You know, I got my reputation back. Elena's business bounced back stronger than ever, and we became minor celebrities, interviewed on TV, asked to speak at law schools about verifying authority. Yet even after Sarah went to prison, 5 years restitution, barred from office, some things lingered. One morning I found an unmarked envelope with a photo of Elena and me, a warning scribbled on the back: Sarah had friends. Yeah, that's the part nobody tells you. Exposing a liar can make you a target. We ramped up security, warned the cops, but honestly, sometimes I still catch myself looking over my shoulder. Life returned to normal, sort of. The chickens are thriving now, 6 of them if you're curious, and our little garden made the local magazine. Elena and I have found a deeper appreciation for each other and the life we fought to protect. Our story got used in law schools and HOA training seminars, and the community finally learned a little skepticism never hurt anyone. Not long ago, another suit-wearing consultant showed up talking about regional development. This time, I didn't even let her finish her pitch before I asked for credentials, legal citations, and independent verification. She beat a hasty retreat, and Elena couldn't stop laughing. I guess the lesson is sometimes the best revenge is just living well and being impossible to fool twice. So if you're watching this and you ever find yourself up against someone using real power for fake reasons, document everything, ask the hard questions, and never assume official-looking paper means the truth is on their side. And before I forget, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to hear if you've ever tangled with a real-life Sarah Blackwood. Truth is, the chickens might not care about property lines, but they helped me prove that some battles are worth fighting. And if you ask me, that's the real taste of freedom.